Hi everyone and welcome to my presentation. My name is Lauren Sigety and I chose to do my needs assessment presentation on lack of support for elderly veterans. I chose this topic because there are a lot of issues surrounding veteran benefits and even more so within the veteran elderly community. I chose to look at specifically the elderly population because of the 18 million veterans, elderly veterans make up more than half of that percentage, with that number only growing as veterans age. Although there are so many resources available to veterans, the problem is that the veterans do not know where they are, they don't know how to use them, or it takes forever for them to receive them. So the purpose of this assessment is to look at lack of support that specifically the elderly community has when finding, filing, and receiving their benefits. During the interview process, I contacted 3 different types of organizations that help veterans deal with their benefits. The first organization I contacted was Veteran Affairs, and I spoke with a Veteran Benefits Officer, also known as a VBO. This person is an employee of the VA whose job it is to help veterans navigate their benefits. The second person I contacted was the local American Legion office, and there I spoke with a veteran advocate. The American Legion is a nonprofit veteran membership organization with community spots located all around the U.S. Last, I contacted Veteran Benefits Aid and I spoke with one of their benefit coordinators. Veteran Benefits Aid is a for-profit organization that connects you with a care coordinator and a veteran lawyer, and they work together to help you through every step of applying and fighting for your benefits. I have a personal experience using all 3 of these services, so it was very interesting to look at them more in depth and from an outsider's perspective. When it came to examining caseloads, I asked each organization, what is your caseload like? Each organization had vastly different responses. The VBO answered that his caseload tends to fluctuate, but that he doesn't often have a stable caseload. The veteran advocate from the VFW answered that he has 100 to 300 cases, and often it's hard for him to keep up with it. The benefit coordinator answered that he has 150 cases max. I found that the caseloads in these organizations vary, but it seems to be the nonprofit organizations that are suffering the most when it comes to caseloads. When trying to determine the average age of a person on these organizations' caseloads, it seems as though the age of the veterans that they are serving are a bit older. With these findings, it is easy to see that even though elderly veterans are getting a hold of these contacts, it seems as though only the veterans that are paying to be a part of either the veteran community or who are paying the benefits coordinator are receiving help. Though veterans are entitled to their benefits, it seems that they are having to pay to receive them. When it comes to examining what challenges elderly veterans face when it comes to their veteran benefits, the findings indicate that veterans are struggling with navigating online resources. Whether or not the veteran is using a non-paid or a paid organization to help them along, each organization is having to account for the issue that the elderly veterans are having with the online portals. When looking at the findings in regard to response times, it seems that caseload affects the amount of time it takes for an organization to return a veteran's call or email. Here, we also see a correlation in paying for services and the quickness in which an organization responds. When looking into how easy it is for a veteran to apply for their benefits alone, the findings show us that no matter the organization, veterans are having an issue with applying for their benefits. No matter if it's a non-paid resource or a paid resource, veterans are having issues applying for their benefits alone. When it comes to examining how long it takes for veterans to receive their benefits, the findings indicate that veterans are struggling with wait times. When it comes to receiving their veteran benefits, due to an unclear application process, it seems as though it is taking veterans about 6 months to a year to receive their veteran benefits. I have many recommendations that I feel would make the process of helping veterans get their benefits faster and easier. However, since I'm focusing solely on elderly veteran benefits, I believe that there are 4 major issues, and these issues can be split up into things that care organizations can directly control and what they cannot directly control. First, the care organizations can control their caseload by hiring more care consultants. They can also control how hard it is to get a hold of them. However, there are a lot of issues that the Veterans Affairs organization creates for itself that are not directly related to these care organizations. For example, the fact that filing for benefits is an entire online process with no other alternative creates a gap within generations and leaves elderly veterans falling through the cracks. Also, the fact that getting benefits can take 6 months to a year creates a huge gap in care and can leave some veterans dying before ever receiving their benefits. It is important that we hold Veterans Affairs organization accountable for these flaws. That is where care organizations come in. Because they have so much experience, they could be advocating for change and directing their veterans on how to promote change within Veteran Affairs organization. Part of this project was the ability to share our findings. To all the organizations I spoke with at the end of the interview, I offered to either send them my presentation or to call them when I finished to discuss it. After each interview, I also sent a follow-up email with my PowerPoint attached. However, all 3 organizations declined. Looking back on this project has me thinking about the things that have made it effective, not effective, and my overall thoughts. Firstly, this project was made effective because of my persistence, and without that I would not have gotten the interviews I had. And also it was effective because I have personal experience with all 3 organizations, and that gave me insight into knowing which questions to ask. Second, I found what hindered my project was getting a hold of organizations, and that organizations need to have faster response times in order to help veterans. I also found that when it came to some of my questions, the people I was interviewing did not want to speak critically of their organization. But when it comes to creating change, I believe that the people in these organizations need to be more willing and critical and to speak up about the failures of not only the Veteran Affairs organization as a whole, but where their organization could use some work. Overall, I found that this experience was very educational, and I found that the organizations are just as frustrated with the process of the Veteran Affairs benefit system. And I also found that the VA system itself is in need of reform. Lastly, I learned that when working in an organization that communication is very important, not only with the veterans, but also within the organization itself.